Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Don Brown here. Today I'm going to renew my visa. It's going to be a 2-month visa in Cebu, so that's the area I'm going to. We're going to give you more information on the exact address later. So this is an application form. I fill it out before I go because it just saves me time. So what I do is I get the application form, I get an extra one from the guard, and then I make copies of it. So the next time you go there, you can fill it out before you go there. Because depending on the visa place you go to, it can be very busy. And the people, if you take the time to fill it out there, a lot of people are going to go ahead of you in line. So just fill this form out. And it's very easy to do. Application form, and you're going to need your visa, your passport. Your passport needs to be at least 6 months valid. So just remember that. You gotta, if you haven't checked it lately, check it. It's got to be at least 6 months on there. And the other thing you need to do when you go there is you need to have cash. They don't accept credit cards, nothing. They only accept cash. And if you go downstairs, there's plenty of banks or ATM machines to get money. So it's best to get your money ahead of time, and they only accept cash. And the other thing you want to remember is just have all your paperwork. You need, all you're going to need is your passport, this application form, and that's it. And here's one more very important thing I wanted to show you guys. This is what they give you is one of these. This is after you get everything's done, they're going to give you one of these. One of these. You always got to make sure you save these. I've heard many people, they throw them away. They think they're just nothing. But every time you go there to renew your visa, like I'm going to go there, they're going to want to see this. They're going to want to see every one that I've had. They actually look through it, and I got like a lot of them. So, so if you don't have those, if you don't have these, they can charge you for every one that you don't have, and that's going to cause a little bit of a problem. So what I'm trying to tell you is, the first time you go there, you won't get you won't have this. But after you get your visa for the first time, you're going to have this. Make sure you save it. I keep all my stuff, like you want to maybe get a plastic folder or any type of folder to just keep all your visa information in it. Even if you don't think you need the information, anything regarding a visa, keep it in this folder. Bring it with you. And basically the only problem you'll have is a problem with yourself, that you didn't bring what you were supposed to bring. So there's no sense of getting mad at the guy, anything, because you didn't have your information. And it's very easy. You need your passport, this application form which I told you about. You're going to need that filled out, and you need your cash. Those are the 3 things you're going to need, and your passport. So, wish me luck. Things should go well. but we're setting into a little bit of traffic now. These lights are about, they got timers on them. You can see the timer on the light. The United States doesn't have those. These got a, like on the, they tell you lights up, it's like a 1 minute 58, like that. So some lights are like 2 minutes long. For the most part, though, the traffic moves right along. I'm gonna go by this Shell gas station. We'll see how much the gas is. They go by liters here. So, how big is dumpling? It's about 95 pesos for 1 liter. So it's 4 liters. Makes a gallon. Actually, it's like a little bit over a gallon. It's still cheaper than the United States.
Time check, boss.
Time check, 8:37. See, sometimes you can make all these lights. You don't make all these lights. It takes a while. Matter of fact, they keep them pretty clean too. Really clean.
We're headed towards the north now. We'll start getting more traffic.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go by over here at Al Corso. This place, they built this place and then came that pandemic. This mall over here. A lot of workers over there. There's that bridge over there, bridge. Just opened up this year. I never went over it. It's really high up there. SM Mall right over here. Really big mall. Matter of fact, it's so big inside they went like carts. You can scoot around on it. Movie theater in there and everything. That SM Mall's not that far from where I live. That bridge they charge you, I don't know, a fee to go over that. Cars going over that for a charge.
Good look at that bridge now. Gonna go under a tunnel, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, we're going through a tunnel. Now we're out of the tunnel. Now we're getting into the city. This is where? More to the north there. This is resiliency for traffic. Sometimes it ain't too bad. Sometimes you can make these lights. You see at that light, there's a number. It says 34. That's when the light's going to change. It's a pretty good idea, if you ask me. Robinson over here, Running Wall. Guys selling water coming by. That's what they do. They walk by and they sell water. They sell a lot of things. Between 5 and 7. But this road is getting jammed. Everybody's getting out of work. So if you got something to do, you need to really do it before 5. Unless you want to sit in traffic. This isn't a lot of traffic if you think it is. This isn't not at all. This is like good. Radisson's. That's the name of that building. Radisson's. Intersection, how crazy it is. This isn't bad today, but sometimes this intersection over here is crazy. They could have a traffic guard. Sometimes it's really bad. It's like 4 lanes. This ain't bad today. Right over there. We're getting there, guys. Right here. That's a nice traffic today. This ain't bad. Usually it's pretty traffic, but you can buy anything you want over here. Whatever you need, it's out here. Fix motorcycles, cars, flat tires, jewelry. They'll fix your jewelry if you need it. Fix your shoes if you need it. One thing you don't see in the Philippines too much is tow trucks. Like in the United States, you have a lot of tow trucks. Car breaks down, they come in a tow truck. Here they just more or less put a rope on the car. Pull it. I'm sure they got tow trucks, but you don't see it much. Veer to the left over here. See, like some buildings over here, you'll see because of that storm. We had a bad storm. Blew out the windows and stuff. There's typhoon, I guess. See, they sell tires, everything. Plenty of little food shops. Usually I leave earlier than I do. I usually leave. Time check is... Time check. Get over this elevator. See, like I said, they sell everything. Ready selling bananas, newspapers. Time check. 9:05 a.m. July 6th, 2022. Saying these guys out in the Philippines will make money one way or another. See, there's a guy who's even selling stuff for cars and stuff. What? So like I said, I usually leave around 7. They don't open up until 8. So if you get there early, they're not going to let you in anyways. But ever since this pandemic's been going on, it hasn't been that busy. When I first got here, This is all the prices. It's all this portable. You can't miss it.
Brown, Lina.
3 hours later.
Shutdown. He was in there for almost like a week,
Yeah.
and there was no way he was able to pay at that point. So what they did is they set up a payment schedule for him,
That's it.
so that he can get released and go back home. And it's a fair thing.
Yeah.
It's not an over thing. But for the most part, if you're Filipino, you go to the hospital, they're not going to release you until you pay your money. And your wife can tell you this, because she knows it, because I can see it in her eyes. Okay? You're not going to get released until somebody pays your debt. Now, normally what happens is somebody will solicit a politician, and the politician will come in and cover the cost.
That's it.
So it's not.
That is true then.
But I've actually, with some of my family members going to the hospital, I paid their hospital bills to get them out. Because it's really not that much money.
Right.
And the United States is just screwed, because this is how they.
Okay, so we're finally back home here. We finished that. I was on the elevator, and the time check there was 10:26. So it was actually very fast. That guy that I was talking to, his name was James. He was actually from, or at least lived in, Virginia. That's where I lived in, from the United States, Virginia. Danville, Virginia, matter of fact. And this guy lived near there, or one time right in that area. So we had a nice conversation. One of the things was, he's been back and forth to the Philippines. And as we were leaving, you didn't catch this on video, he actually said to me, "Oh, I got to go back in because they didn't stamp my visa," meaning your passport. They put a stamp on it. They did away with that about at least 3 years ago. They did away with that. And that's why, remember I told you to hang on to this paper? They don't stamp it anymore. They used just to put a stamp inside your passport, and you didn't need this. So a lot of people think that they stamp this, and then they just take this and throw it away. Well, if you go back there and you don't have this, you just think that it's in here. It's not in here anymore. They give you this, and every time you go back, you get this one. Next time I go back, I'll get another one. You keep them together, because you need every one, every paper. Because they check it to see if you got it. If you don't got it, you're paying for it. They might let you not pay for it. Maybe. It's hard to, I'm not going to, more than likely you're paying for it. What was the name of that place? That place was J Mall, and it was at Madawi. Yeah, I think it was just at Madawi. Yeah, it was at the J Center Mall. That's where you get the visa, and the city's Madawi.
And the visa today costed me for 2-month visa, $2,830. That's for a 2-month visa. Then after you get the 2-month visa, then you'll get a 6-month visa. And then after that, you can get another 6-month visa. And so, and you're gonna see. I did a close-up shot of all the prices. So you guys, if you want to know the prices for more things, it's right up there. All the prices for 2-month visa. Everything you need to know is on that screenshot. And after, like me, I'm here as a tourist. After 36 months, you've got to leave the Philippines, and then you can come back. So pretty soon, like in November or so, I gotta leave the Philippines and then come back. And then it starts all over again. My process is all anew. I get this free 30 days upon entry, and then I go down there after the 30 days, and then I get a 30-day visa, then a 2-month visa, and so forth and so on. So that's pretty much how it works. And we stopped at Jollibee on our way home. There's a Jollibee right by there. So it really went pretty fast. That guy, James, that I was talking to, he's a really nice guy. I want to talk to you a little bit about my experience with the license in the Philippines. Whenever country you come over from, me, I came over from Virginia to the Philippines here, and they let you use your license here. That's not a problem. You can get an international license, but that, I don't know, costs us some money to do that. But I'll tell you, the reason why I mainly went and got my Philippine license is because I got stopped so many times by traffic enforcers. I was making U-turns where you're not supposed to make a U-turn. I'm telling you, when you get to the Philippines, be prepared. You'll get some traffic stops. I'm getting better at it, but still. I mean, I got 2 in one day. Once I drove up a wrong way road. Can you believe that? Well, and then after that, I made a illegal U-turn. So 2 in one day. So that's why I would get this change my license over into the Philippines ones is when you get stopped by the traffic enforcer, not only are they looking at your license, but then they really can't figure it out too much. Now they ask for your passport. They want more identification. So you might not be carrying your passport with you, which now he's definitely going to give you a ticket. So those are some of the reasons. Good enough reason for me, anyways. I just changed over to to get a Philippine license, and I'll tell you another little story in a minute about this. So I just went down to called Motor Vehicle Department of Transportation. They may not call it that here, but that's what it is. And then you go there, and they have like another little building to the left. They got motor vehicle. Then they got the where you got to go for like a little medical test and an eye exam. and that medical one, you just filling out a paper. They're gonna ask you if you're allergic to this, you know, main questions. Then they did like a medical test, take your heartbeat and blood pressure, and that's when I found out I had high blood pressure. It was like 165 over 90. The doctor said, "Man, that's kind of high." And I said, "Yeah, that's high." He goes, "Yeah, you better go see a doctor on that." I said, "Okay." Yeah, so I did. Now I got that under control. But it's funny how God works these things out, because if I didn't change my license, I wouldn't really have known that that I needed to go see a doctor. And then after that, you take your eye test. Then after that, if all goes well, which hopefully it will, then you go back over to that DMV, hand in their information, and I only waited for, I bet you I was there less than an hour. And then I got my Philippine license. And so then after that, the next day, I noticed there was a mistake. Probably wondering how they make a mistake. Well, I had a motorcycle license in Virginia, and the driver's license, and it wasn't on this. It didn't show up, no motorcycle license. So I went back there and I talked to the guy. I said, "So there's a mistake here. There's no motorcycle license here." He goes, "Well, let's put it this way. You're either going to get a driver's license or a motorcycle license. I'm not going to give you both. So do you want your driver's license?" So I'm like, I really want both. But the guy said the only way you're going to get both is if you take the motorcycle test. I says, "Okay, just give me, I'll just keep what I've got." So, because I figured I'm really not getting a motorcycle here. It's kind of dangerous. I'll do some videos of these people driving motorcycles around here. And then that was about it. And as far as violations go, I was driving one day to Jollibee, and I got pulled over by this traffic enforcer, and he said, I didn't, now this time I really didn't do anything wrong, and he said to me, the reason I'm stopping you is, you're not wearing your seatbelt. I'm like, "Oh, I'm not wearing my seatbelt." So he goes, "Yeah, that's a violation here." So, and by the way, my seatbelt, like when you put your seatbelt on, it stops dinging. Well, or if you don't put it on, either way, it's dinging, right? If you don't put it on. My car, I don't know why, it just don't ding. But anyways, so the guy comes back and he keeps my license. And he says, he gives me his temporary license on paper. And he says, "You got like, I think it was 12 days. And he said, "You got 12 days to pay the fine and get your license back." So they kept my license. I had to drive down to Madawi and pay, it was only $20, and pay the $20 and get my license back. So, yeah, hey, from now on, I always put my seatbelt on. Well, that's about it on that license part. So, Oh, and the other thing, I was getting back to the part, and then after I did get my license, once I got stopped by a traffic enforcer, they would let me go. They don't ask for no visa, they don't ask for no passport. They see you got that Philippine license, and now they're like, okay, the guy's got a Philippine license. He's from the United States. He really doesn't know these where the U-turns are and this and that. And they'll say, okay, I'll give you another chance. Usually, most of them will say that to you. A couple, like I said, the only time they gave me a ticket is when maybe their supervisor was standing right next to them or something. But most of the time, if you're coming here from the United States, you get stopped. You know, again, be nice to the guy and everything, apologize, you know, tell him because you didn't know what you did wrong, you made a mistake. And then he'll just tell you, no, there's the U-turn down there. Make sure that's what you, that's where you make your correct turn is down there, not over here. And you say, okay, sir, I understand. It won't happen again. And he'll just let it go. Hey, so the reason why I like it here in the Philippines, I'll tell you, we'll get back to this license thing. And that comes down to police. Well, when you're in the Philippines, you do not see police officers pulling cars over, okay, like you do in the United States. You know how they follow you and just wait for you to do something wrong, or they got their little radar gun on you, waiting to give you a little ticket. They don't do that here, okay? They got traffic enforcers. These are guys that stand on the side of the road, and there's enough of them where you just drive by them. Eventually, there's enough of them, you're going to get stopped. I mean, you're going to get caught one way or another. And by the way, they got probably one of the best camera systems, better than the United States, in my opinion. They got them. I made another traffic violation. It was kind of like on a highway. I stopped because you know how you're going to take an exit and you kind of like stop and like, can I back up a little bit because I'm thinking I missed it. So I just actually stopped and then I just drove on. I'm telling you, like 15 minutes later, a traffic enforcer stopped me. And I'm like, what did I do wrong this time? And the guy said, you stopped on the highway. Stopped on the highway? That was freaking 20 minutes ago. I'm like, thinking to myself, that's pretty good. I mean, their camera system got me on that. I mean, that's how good their camera system is here. If you get into an accident or something, they got cameras all over. They're running that video. And that goes with crime, whatever. I mean, you're pretty much being watched all the time. You're watched in the United States all the time too, so most of the time in your buildings. But here on the roads, they got a good camera system. So what I like about the Philippines is, okay, about that police thing, how I'm not being followed all the time by these police just waiting to pull you over for something. That doesn't happen here. Or, you know what, if you get pulled over here on a traffic stop, all the guy's doing is what he's supposed to be doing, like they're supposed to do in the United States. Give you your violation and that's it. That's all they're supposed to do. You made a violation, that's it. Not like poke around in your car, asking everybody's information. I want to see everybody's ID. They don't do that here. It's simple. Give them your license. They'll either give you a ticket or let you go. That's it. And that's really how it should be. That's one thing I really like about the Philippines. I also like the fact that I can go out anytime, like whenever it's 12 o'clock at night. I can go out at 12 o'clock at night in Virginia where I live. So I wouldn't go out past 9 o'clock at night, and then I'd worry because of the crime rate is so high there. Matter of fact, you could just Google Danville, Virginia, and look up their crime rate. It's one of the worst places in Danville. It was rated #1 worst crime rate in all of Virginia. That's where I lived. So like by 9 o'clock, I just don't go out because #1, you'd either get stopped by the police or you're gonna get mugged, held up with a gun. Here, I go out at 12 o'clock. There's no problem. Nobody bothers you here. Friendly people. That's the other thing I like about the Philippines living here. Everybody's happy. They seem happy. And they try to make an honest living for an honest pay. That's what it's all about. Very hard workers. I was just talking to him in this video. I was talking to that man. His name is James, by the way. And James, if you ever watch my video, thanks a lot. I really like talking to you. That man there, James, he even said he wished he could take some of these Filipinos back to the United States with him to open up a business. Because I think he's trying to open a business. And he wants the Filipino workers, that's what he would like to employ. Why? Because they're honest and they're hardworking. And by the way, don't ever come here thinking that if you're going to come here to the Philippines, the Filipino people, I would say what they don't like is like maybe like a foreigner thinking that he's better than the Filipino people. So what I'm trying to say is that some guys or women, mainly men, they come here thinking, oh, I got all this money, and thinking that, you're just a little bit above these Filipino people. It doesn't work that way. That just doesn't, you're gonna find maybe less friends. People ain't gonna want to talk to you because you got a big head. You're coming here thinking you're better than them. You're not better than them. We're all created equal. In God's eyes, we're all created equal. So you need to come here and remember you're a tourist here. So you got to be on your best behavior at all times. You should be anyways. And then you respect them, and they'll respect you even more. They'll be really friendly to you. But your wealth has nothing to do with it. Don't think that these people come running up to you, and sure, they you'll get some street people asking you for money, but they ask other Filipino people too for money. It's not just you they're going to ask money from. So that's what I see. I see, a lot of foreigners thinking they're a little bit walking around with a big head. Matter of fact, what I've noticed is they have such a big head, these foreigners, and like I said, I just came back from the visa place. That man you saw me talking to, James, that happens very
very unusual. You at a visa place. Now you would think me going to a visa place, being in the Philippines, and seeing somebody from the United States, we would have a lot to talk about. But it doesn't work that way. These guys that come from the United States, when they see me or anybody from the United States, they just ignore you. Like you don't even exist. They turn their head away from you. I really don't know the reason why. Again, me, big head. And as far as there's another notion you guys probably hear on the YouTube channels about like say like the women or so that they're all coming after men for their money and so forth. That doesn't happen here. That's way far off. These women here, they're workers. They work hard, and they don't. I've never had any. I've been here for almost 3 years. I don't have no women coming up to me, asking me out on a date or anything like that. That's not going to happen. If you think that's going to happen, that's just a story on YouTube. That doesn't exist. The women are very respectful. So, as far as that goes, none of that's going to happen. But I owned a business for 32 years out in the in Virginia and a couple of other states. I had a cleaning business, and just like that man James said, he wished he could take some of these Filipino workers back there with him. I wish I had some of these Filipino workers working for me. I really do. I would actually got some work done. When I was at my job and I told the person to do something, I'd come back. It's like, what got done? Nothing got done. Or whatever they did, we had to redo it. Or they had to redo it. I had to pay the guy twice. Or they don't show up for work. So, your Filipino workers, that's why when people like myself come to the United States who own a business and see the Filipino workers, we admire them because of how hard you guys work. And we know if we had people like you in the United States, we would have probably a better world out there as far as the workforce goes. We would actually get some work done. But so much on that. On the other subject, where I came from Virginia, and basically I ended up getting divorced, and then I had I still do have like 5 kids there, and then my after I got divorced, my kids just didn't really want anything to do with me. So they just couldn't accept the fact about that divorce. So and that led into all my relatives too. I mean, they just didn't like the fact that we got divorced. So as far as family members or anything like that, there was no family left. It was just me, my daughter, and my work. That was my life. That's all I did. I didn't drink or go to bars or go out at night. You know, I just went to work, took care of my daughter, and that's what I did every day. So, I met a girl from the Philippines,
and we talked for probably a couple of years. I'd say about 2 years. And then I came down here to the Philippines, and I met her, and it worked out pretty good. And then I went back home, and then when I was back at home, I was listening to this Christian song on the radio, and it said that this place isn't your home. And I lived in a bunch of different states. Every state I lived in, it was like, man, it's just like I don't fit in here. And then when I heard this song, it was about that, this place isn't our home. Heaven's our home. So I'm like, yeah, that's why I don't fit in here. That's why I don't, everywhere as I move to, I just don't fit in. So I'm like, okay. Then I came to the Philippines in 2016, and right away it was like, maybe heaven is my home, but there's got to be a place where I at least feel at ease or comfortable living in. And when I came to the Philippines, it was like I found a place that actually people accept me. Like back in the United States, people, their life is so much different there. They're always like, just trying to make that extra dollar. Instead of having one car, they want 3 cars. They want 2 houses. They want a boat. They want a motorcycle. And to get all these things, you gotta work. So they work a lot, and that's just the way it really goes back in the United States. And that's why people, I feel as though they're really not as happy as people here in the Philippines. When people in the Philippines, I've noticed, like their house or their cars, I mean, they really take good care of it. Where in the United States, I would say, I notice they don't take good care of things as they do here. Here, people get something new, they really take care of it. United States, not so much. I got a big surprise for you, so I'm glad you stayed tuned all this far, and I want you to meet somebody. This is my daughter. This is Leanna. She came with me from the United States. We had many talks about coming here, me and her. Matter of fact, there were times I wasn't going to come here. Remember, Lana? And she's like, "What? You spent all this time, all this money? What are you, crazy? You should really go." This was times when me and Maria me and my girlfriend were getting into arguments. So I would say to her, say to Leanna, "I don't think I want to go." And then Leanna's like, "No, you need to go."
Yeah, it was just out of nowhere you'd ask me, and I'm like,
Right.
That's weird.
I mean, then I would say, "Okay, I changed my mind. I'll go." But for Leanna to come to the Philippines was like she gave up a lot. Like, when, especially at her age, when they have like all her friends are there, and the relatives with her were all good. On the other hand, with me, I had no relatives because I already told you that part. But Leanna had a lot of friends, a lot of relatives, and so I give Leanna a lot of credit for coming here to the Philippines with me. You remember all that? Yeah. So, how would the people in the Philippines treated you since you've been here?
Pretty nice, actually.
They're pretty nice towards you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The food, Leanna's always been a real picky person. So we gave her, she's never eaten rice that much. People in the Philippines with your rice. She eats rice now, and she tries different types of foods. And,
Yeah, because just eating the same food gets boring.
yeah. And what do you think about all the food places they got here? They got a lot of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They got McDonald's. Leanna's favorite is McDonald's. Always has been. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Every now and then we always got to get her something at McDonald's.
It's too bad they don't have Bojangles, so that
Yeah.
was my second favorite.
Yeah, there's a chicken place out there called Bojangles. We used to go there. But, what's that, Jollibee? They got pretty good chicken.
Yeah, but it's not the same as the chicken tenders.
Yeah. Yeah. So what about the kids your age here? How are they compared to ones in the United States?
Honestly, they act like they're all innocent, but really they're not. Not around me, at least. They'll be way different.
Uh,
Yeah. It's kind of funny, actually.
yeah,
Like Angel, my friend.
yeah. That's her friend here, Angel.
She acts like she's all good and stuff, but she's something else when she's with me, and it's funny. So that's
Yeah,
why I like her so much.
yeah,
Yeah, but mostly the kids my age around here are like, I don't really get along with them really. Like Kate,
yeah,
nah,
yeah,
I don't like her anymore.
yeah.
I don't like her.
Yeah, do you notice how the kids in the Philippines here play outside a lot?
Yeah.
Compared to like in the United States, you don't see them really riding bikes or even playing basketball or, I mean, here, kids are like outside a lot.
Yeah, in like 2017, 2018, the United States, kids would go out a lot, but
Yeah.
that just stopped for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, you see a lot of kids out here playing, having a good time.
Yeah.
And the families here, they're pretty big too, a lot of kids. Huh?
Yeah, and like they'll have like a small house kind
Yeah.
of too, and it's like they
Yeah.
all sleep together. I
Yeah.
don't-
See, in the
That's
United
surprising.
States, that's not like that. Usually, because like I told you, they got to have these big houses that they work 24 hours a day to get. They'll have to have a house with like, and I'm not kidding you, at least 4 bedrooms.
Yeah, you have to
Right.
have it or your kids will get taken away.
Right, 4 bedrooms. But here, if you had 4 bedrooms, you'd probably have, who knows how many kids? 10
Yeah.
kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, what about all the dogs? You noticed all the dogs they have here?
Yeah. I don't know why there's so many.
They have a lot of dogs.
Maybe it's from that lady and she keeps feeding them.
I mean, wherever you go, there are dogs. As a matter of fact, the dogs here in the Philippines are much smarter than the dogs in the United States.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, they even know how to cross the street without getting hit by a car.
yeah.
Our dogs
They're
are
like trained for
right.
it
Our
since
dogs are
little.
kind of dumb. They definitely get hit, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, I watch these dogs. They're smart. I mean, they stand on the side of the road like a person, and they know when to cross the road.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to get back to what I was talking about. Thank you, Leanna, for joining this video. Okay, now to get back to what I was talking about. So, once I came to the Philippines here, I hope you enjoyed that, talking to my daughter. She don't come on camera much. And so once I came to the Philippines, it was like right away I felt like this is a place I belong. I just felt comfortable here. The people, nobody. Matter of fact, all the 3 years that I've been here, now I haven't had one problem with one Filipino person. Not once. Never, nothing. Matter of fact, I'll tell you a little bit of a story. It's just a strange story, but it's a story that how it is in the United States. It's about the grocery store. This lady, can you believe I'm in a grocery store, like your grocery stores, and this got my carriage, and I'm like looking at something to get some food, and this lady comes behind me and she tells me to move. She says, "Move out of my way." I'm like thinking to myself, move out of your way? So I just didn't say anything, and I moved out of the lady's way. I mean, I'm thinking, move out of my way? That's crazy. But that's the way people are in the United States. Matter of fact, it's like this. This is why I like the Philippines. I don't get bothered by anybody. I really don't. Nobody bothers me. I don't bother nobody. Nobody bothers me. I just like it here. And in the United States, if you're walking down the street, I don't care what time of day it is. If you saw 3 people, guys, walking towards you, and you're walking towards them, you really should probably cross the street. Why, you ask? Because they're going to bump into you and cause a problem with you and say, "Oh, you bumped into me," and start trouble. That's the way it is there. I mean, you always got to be on guard. That's my point. Here, you don't have to be like that. And matter of fact, when I went back to the United States, when I got off that plane, it was like instantly I felt like, I don't feel safe here. And you're probably wondering why. It's because here, every store that I went into, every street corners, wherever, there's always like a guard, with protection and an actual gun. In the United States, there's nobody to protect you. You're gonna call 911. You know how long a cop's gonna take to get to you? Could take an hour.
Yeah, talk about the fat mall cops that they have. That don't-
Oh, so what do you want? You want them to talk about those?
Mall cops?
Tell
In
them
the
about.
United States?
Tell them about the mall cops.
They'll sometimes be like mall cops in the United States, but like they'll be like really fat and like fat people can't run very fast, and usually they won't even have guns or
Right,
anything.
yeah, that's right. Like in our guard, the guards in the mall, that's what I say, you're unprotected. I mean, they don't check nothing when you walk into a mall.
No.
I mean, right?
Yeah, they're just sitting there on their
Right.
phones or just.
And then they got some guard there and he doesn't even have a gun. What
Maybe
good is
they'll
he?
have a gun, but it's probably not even loaded.
I don't know. Maybe.
I've only seen them with tasers, I think.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I never even seen that.
I
But-
don't know. I haven't really seen any mall cops. Or
Yeah.
any cops, really,
Right.
where we live.
Right.
Yeah. That's just not something you find. I mean, they'll have, like, security in the back,
Yeah,
but by time you need them, they're not there.
that's right. Yeah.
They're all in the back looking at cameras, probably.
Well, it's about time to end this video. Thank you, Leona. And thank you guys for, this has been a long video. I thank you. Subscribe, like. There's a lot to comment on this one, guys. So leave some comments. Like I say, good or bad, I can take it. Have a good one. Don Brown here. See you later.